Hey there, it's Dusty with another story for you. This one's spicy. The Christmas kind of spicy. Cinnamony. This is actually from True Off My Chest and is titled, I Want to Divorce My Wife Over Her Hair. This is just me venting, and I'm so exhausted of my wife here lately. Our little girl's wedding was back in October. Wait, why is wedding in quotation marks? Our little girl's wedding was back in October, and it was a disaster because of my wife. My wife and daughter had gotten into a fight before the wedding, seemingly made up a few days before, so we flew down and we're going to stay till after the wedding. When we got there, my wife started complaining about her hair. My daughter was suggesting a few of the salons around New Orleans that would have fit her in before the wedding. My wife asked her if she would just do her hair. My daughter has her beauty license. My daughter agreed, and that's when the disaster started. My wife's hair was too warm, then too cool, then too warm again. My daughter had done her hair 3 times in a row. 6 hours each time because my wife has a lot of hair and was wanting to be foiled back to back. Don't know if I phrased that right. My daughter said she couldn't do it again for the 4th time because she didn't want to overprocess her hair and that her body was killing her. She said she was becoming burnt out from her nursing job, her hair job, and now all the wedding planning and running around. This 3rd appointment was the day of her wedding, by the way, and before it started, my wife said, don't take another 10 hours to do it. She sounds like a real Southern peach. My wife became very short and snippy with her and complained about her hair the entire time. She kept sending my daughter pictures of hair colors that she liked and telling her she colored her hair too gray and cool. My daughter was in tears during her wedding because she said her feet were blistered, so it was hard for her to walk in the heels she had purchased for her wedding day. Her husband gently asked us if we could go home the day after the wedding. I, of course, agreed. I was continuously telling my wife that her hair looked amazing and to leave our daughter alone, but she just kept saying, this is her job. I snapped at her after the 2nd appointment and said, enough is enough. I also learned that my daughter had spent over $400 just on product for my wife's hair. My little girl and her husband make enough to sustain themselves fine and live comfortably, but I know that after their wedding, they want to tighten their belts and start saving up for a house because they plan on trying for kids soon. After the wedding, my wife had completely blown up once we got home, saying her hair was a mess and that she was going to have to pay a lot of money to get it fixed. She texted her daughter and ripped her a new one, saying what she wanted wasn't that hard and that she's completely destroyed her hair. Our daughter just replied with, she's sorry, and hasn't talked to us since. She sent me a happy Thanksgiving text and told me that she loved me, but she hasn't talked to her mom since that text and she only keeps in regular contact with her siblings. I'm so beyond pissed off. She had worked hard coming off a 16-hour nursing shift and immediately doing her mom's hair for 6 hours and then 2 more 6-hour appointments back to back on her wedding day. And my wife is still ungrateful. This isn't the woman I married. This isn't the mother that I know. If I have to hear about her precious hair one more time, I'm gonna leave because no hair is worth her relationship, worth her daughter. Damn. I mean, damn. Candy Thunder, this is your feedback story. Why don't you bring your beautiful hair up here and tell us what you think about this? All I keep thinking is it wasn't about the hair.
Hey, you nailed it. It wasn't about the hair.
It wasn't about the hair.
In my opinion. I think, in our opinion, I guess. I think it was about the fact that the attention was on the daughter and not the mother.
This does seem like a very hairy situation, though.
How long have you been saving that?
About 2 seconds. It wasn't worth very much. She has a bald spot on her heart.
What are we... Why are they saying the couple eloped and they were just doing a reception?
I don't know.
Is that maybe something from the comments, I guess?
Maybe.
But I'm like, they were... So it's about the fact that the couple eloped and didn't include the mother, and then they just included her in the reception.
What mother would force their daughter to spend 6 hours, 12 hours, no, it's 6 hours, doing her hair on her wedding day? And the previous appointment, I guess it would have been 12 hours the day before her wedding day? What mother would do that?
The ones that like to see you next Tuesday. That's the kind of moms that want to do that. The cunty kind.
There's no cure for being a cunt.
Grow the up, lady. Like, you just ruined your relationship with your daughter.
And your hair.
Who does
Getting
this?
colored 3 times back to back? Look, I don't know shit about F, right? But I do know that getting your hair colored 3 times back to back is just going to fry it and it's going to fall out, right? Like
This is another use your words situations, but also you don't get to control in what way your children get married. You don't get to control if they elope. You don't get to control if they have a small wedding or a big wedding. Like, that is up to the people that are literally getting married, like if you understand how that works. You also don't get to hijack your daughter's important time by making her do your hair. I wish the daughter, to me, it feels like the daughter is probably, this is not the first time this has happened. And she tried to, earn her mom's appreciation, love, by doing something for her mom. And the mom responded with just complete bullshittery and treated her like utter bullshit. And man, God, I wouldn't speak to this woman again either.
No. You know, what's interesting here is that OP is like, this is not the woman I know. This is not the mother I know. So this was out of character for her? Which, I mean, okay.
Right. And we don't know. Someone said, how do we know? Like, she colored it 3 times, makes me feel like the story is fake. I think there's people that color their hair multiple times over the course of a couple days to try to achieve a level. But we don't know if she was bleaching it or doing multiple things. But, we don't know what they were doing to her hair. But either way, this mom exists. We know that this mom exists because there's people in chat telling us that this is their mom.
Gosh.
But
I don't
grow the up.
I don't understand her daughter agreeing to do it. I mean, maybe she just wanted to make her happy, or maybe she knew that it wasn't worth not doing what she wanted because it'd be an even bigger pain in the ass.
It was probably a conditioned response to growing up with a mom that is always me. And she was just doing what she wanted to do to try to make her mom happy. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we, to a fault, always try to make our parents happy and want to. And I say to a fault because there's people out there who just can never be happy. That can never be you could never achieve that with some of your parents. But I think in life, we're raised to be that way. I would have said no. My mom would have never asked. Your mom would have never asked. So
nope.
I feel sorry for the people that are treated like this by their mom. And I feel especially sorry for the daughters who were raised by mothers like this, because it's just not okay. It's totally uncalled for, and it's not okay. And it breaks my heart that it breaks my heart that a lot of women grow up with their first bully being their mom. I hate that that's an actual thing. I hate that that's very common.
And people are the way they are for a reason. So how she grew up was probably similar.
Right.
Or she thinks she's doing better than her mom did. So, gosh, it's breaking the cycle is not an easy thing, but you got to do it because she finally went far enough. How did daughter respond? She went no contact. Quietly.
She did, yeah. She said, "I'm sorry," and then said, and then nothing.
And then
after
went
that.
no contact.
But what do you? And the fact that this groom stood up and said, "You guys need to go," and the dad was like, "Absolutely, I hear you, I understand." And he stood up for his wife because he knew what this was doing to her, and he probably knew they probably eloped because they didn't want to deal with her bullshit, and there she was wreaking havoc.
Oh, she. Yep. She created enough bullshit to make up for the fact that she couldn't during the actual wedding, if that was the case here. Hey, Hatter dropped the $10 super and said, this is one of my fears that I am finally engaged. My father has always been my way or no way and trying to make it about what he wants. I would go no contact with the mom and low contact with OP.
Right.
I think so. OP dad in this occasion. Also, I don't know why, but I keep putting the story in some kind of Steel Magnolia setting in my mind. I see it going down in that kind of setting. OP, you now have a responsibility to try to build a new relationship with your daughter because she's the only one that she's left some kind of lifeline to. And I know that you want that, and you, I think, need to have a real honest and difficult conversation with your wife and be like, who have you become? Because this is not the woman that I know, and this is what I see you doing. Yeah. Why?
And his title is, I'm considering divorcing my wife over hair. He's like, I've seen, and someone said maybe he didn't see this. Maybe she did this behind his back growing up.
Yeah. And
that's totally present one thing, and the daughter never spoke up about it because some people's response to being treated like this is to try harder, to fulfill whatever it is that the aggressor is wanting. Right. And I kind of feel like that's what the daughter did by trying 3 times. And then she's like, I can't do this anymore. Your hair's going to fall out. And now she wants to go she sounds very, very vain, very selfish, and only cares about herself. But I think this is divorce material, in my opinion, because if you witnessed me treating, I will say Navy because she's our child together, but if you witnessed me treating Navy like this, you would have stopped after. You wouldn't even have allowed me to ask Navy to do my hair on our wedding day. Like, I don't even understand
Well,
it.
if you had just sprung it, like, not even talked to me about it ahead of time and said it.
You would have been like, no.
My look would be like,
I would never do that. But like, I would hope that you would divorce me because clearly I've gone off the deep end and clearly there's something wrong. But I feel very badly for women that have, and we talk about this a lot together, but like, so many things were accepted as normal, 80 years ago. And then it changed, 60 years ago. Some of that fades away and there's this other stuff. And like, I feel like in today's world, we're chipping away at the stuff that's not okay. It's not okay to treat your children a certain way. It's not okay to be shitty in this way to other human beings. But I think we have to understand that like people grew up a certain way. This woman was probably treated like this by her mother. It does not make it okay.
Right.
It does not make you responsible for your actions. But I hope that we get to a place where we filter treating our children like this out, and it does not exist anymore, so that we aren't creating people that are broken. Like, we're creating people that...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I forgot what I was saying.
I didn't know where the hell it was coming from.
And someone asked about the makeup that I'm wearing. It's actually a color pop palette with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the front of it. It's a Christmas palette, and I'm very excited about that. So